Hi everyone, welcome to On Saves at Craft and Budget with On. Thank you so much for being here and supporting the financial goal hop. I'm going to start off with a prayer of gratitude. Okay, I have that in my financial planner. Okay, I found this prayer online. I hope you would give me a moment of your time just to pray, and please do pray along with me if you are willing. Thank you, God. I don't have a luxurious house, yet I can still find shelter from the storm. There are nights when I struggle to sleep, but I can still wake up to face a new day. My wallet may not be filled, but I am still provided for with food and clothing. I may not have everything I want, but I have everything I need. God, I am grateful to you for this. Amen. Many of you know that we were hit by a tornado here in Michigan, and we did have fatalities. So this really hits home for me to be grateful for our basic needs, and just not take what we have for granted. Okay, so thank you very much for giving me that moment. Moving on to our financial hop. If you are new and you just find the financial hop today, please head over to Donna Powered by Creativity and print out your financial goals hop calendar. This is a calendar showing who is hosting on what day. So today is actually the 3rd, where Andrea, the traveling chief, will be hosting for her video. Because I have internet issues, I'm recording mine early so I can get my video up and post it in a timely manner. All right. The first document I have here is the Smart Goal Planner created by Andrea over at the Traveling Savings Chief. This is the Financial Goal Hop 2025 Smart Goals. If you are interested, you can find this in her Ko-fi shop. Next, I have the 2025 Goals Tracker created by Steph over at Budget with Mama Bear. She has it broken down into health, family, travel, personal hobbies, financial, social, and business. Okay, so if you have goals for any of these, you would fill it out, and then you would go into your quarterly goal breakdown and break down what you want to do per that quarter. Okay, and then there's also a note section here. You do get 4 pages for the quarterly goals. Okay, each page has 3 months on them. Okay. Next, I have the quarterly financial goal template created by Donna over at Donna Powered by Creativity. This is a template to give you a first glance of your financial goal. There's 3 months to a page, giving you a total of 4 pages if you are interested in this template. Next, I have the Financial Goal Hop notes page created by Steph over at Budget with Mama Bear, and you can find this in her Ko-fi shop for free. As I mentioned, today is actually Andrea's turn to host the Financial Goal Hop. I haven't seen her video yet, so I don't have any notes here. Donna was our first host, and then Steph was our second host for the second. Tomorrow you will possibly have already watched Emily over at Leela Budgets. She is from England, and I had to make sure I was subscribed to her. My date for hosting the Financial Hub. Then you have Maria over at Modest Way of Life. So please make sure you visit her channel after you've viewed my video. Also, if you've missed anyone else's financial goal hop, please do go back and watch theirs. Okay, we will have a playlist for you to check out. Okay, that way if you missed anyone's video, you can go ahead and check out their video. So going into or reviewing January's goal, I did share this back in January, what I wanted to work on. So I had Bible study, I had home, I had health, I had emergency fund, I had debt, and then I had to change it. And even with the revision, I had to make changes again because this here was not achievable. Oops. So I broke down the goals, the financial goal. For my first financial goal, using the SMART goal method, I specifically state that I want $1,000 saved towards emergency fund. And then I would go ahead and gather my bills, my expenses, and create a budget to help me measure how much I would have to save towards that goal. And once I was able to create a budget that tells me how much I can save towards that goal and make it attainable, and that was $84 per week for 12 weeks. And how is this relevant? It's relevant in helping me work towards financial stability. And how much time will it take me to do this? I gave myself 12 weeks to do this. So I checked back in March 30th in order to share whether or not I achieved that goal for my emergency fund. Next, I had my second financial goal, and that is to pay down debt. Still, I was using the SMART goal method. I specifically want to pay down $2,000 in debt, and to do that, I had to go through my budget and figure out what I can what I can save towards it, and whether I'll be using the avalanche method or the snowball method. I figured that I could save $77 per week for 26 weeks to reach this $2,000 goal. And it's relevant in reducing my debt and relieving myself of a great financial burden. So I gave myself a 6-month period to complete that goal. And so I would check back in on July 6th for the completion of that. Here is where I actually had everything broken down so that it would make sense for me. So my focus is on slowly increasing my savings and drastically decreasing my debt for financial peace in the future. Then I'm excited for meeting at least one financial goal I have set for the first quarter, but I'll be ecstatic if I can complete all my financial goals. So I'm starting small here by trying to at least meet one of the goals. But if I can meet more, I would be super ecstatic for that, right? So the milestones I have here are when I hit each goal, okay? And then what I'm scared of. I'm scared of my own ambition, my need to win and succeed for the plans I made for myself, because sometimes they're unrealistic and it's just not achievable. So here is where I share the main goals. My 3 main goals is to first save my $1,000 by the 31st of March, to pay $1,000 by the 31st of March. And the savings for my emergency fund, the paying down is to pay down debt. Track my spending as much as I can. I am not great at tracking my spending, and I know that because I've tried, and I believe it's just my mindset that stopped me from tracking my spending. So I'm going to work on it. So some tasks I had written down for these goals is to do research, to draft plans and goals, to break it down, select what's most important and prioritize the top 3, and then work on achieving my goals. Okay, And then some important dates I wrote down for the quarterly goal preview. Um, and this was as it was happening in the month of January. Is on the 10th, I submitted my draft. I submitted my draft to Andra and Donna. Then I revised my draft. After the revision, I shared my goals with you during my YouTube hop. And then what else I did was file taxes early. And at the end of January, January 31st, I was able to save $428 extra to debt payment. So that was amazing. And then I wrote here a note for myself. I did my best, and my best doesn't have to be perfect. Love you, future me. And this is a little love note I leave myself, just so when I look back, I can at least say, you know what? I did do my best. And I'm here because of past me putting in the work. Okay? And here we have the review. So the preview is just everything in the process, and review is everything that after. My big win is meeting my goals of saving $1,000 and exceeding it by March 31st, 2025. Secondly, was accomplishing my goal of paying down $1,000 in debt. I actually paid more than $1,000, but it's okay. I put away $1,500 towards emergency fund, which is halfway towards my goal. My goal is $3,000 by the end of the year. Paying down $1,000 is better than accruing $1,000 in debt. Okay, and then tracking 1 week of spending successfully. That was my achievement. Highlights. I was finally able to track my spending for 2 weeks. And I know I said 2 weeks straight, but this was just really, I was able to do it for like 2 weeks in the month of March. When I didn't feel pressured to share it online, I just stopped posting my budget and focused on tracking for 2 weeks. Lessons I learned: keep trying, make it fun. Not everything needs to be recorded, just be consistent. Give myself grace. Okay, so the reason why I wrote not everything has to be recorded is because of this here. By not recording, I was able to actually focus on tracking versus doing my budget and tracking. And I think that's what stopped me, was because I was so focused on budgeting that I stopped tracking. Okay. All right. What worked? Having a set of goals. Let me rephrase that. It should be having a set of written goals. Making sense of what I want to achieve, creating a plan, finding a way to achieve that goal. Okay. What didn't work? Tracking my spending isn't so easy for me. Feels like a chore. I didn't always get a receipt. I'd forget to track anything. So this didn't work for me because for some reason, instead of going to look back into my bank statements to see what I actually spent, because I didn't use my cash too much after January. I was using my card. I really could have tracked this a lot better by just looking back at my statements, but I didn't even think about it. I was just like, nope, didn't have a receipt, not doing it. So improvements to make: don't make this more complicated than it actually is. Tracking is not complicated. You just have to make sure you document, and that's what I need to remember. Just write it down. Take things slow. If it's not working, try again or something else. If it's still not working, it's not meant to be done my way. Do some research. Okay, there are a few things I believe I can do without research, and there are things that I know after trial and error, that research is required, and that is why I have this here. Here is the 52-week challenge I used to help me save my $1,500 towards the emergency fund. I have to let you know that I did not save any single bills, so I saved the $5 increments. So anything that was not $5 increments, I made sure it got to the next $5 increment. So if it was a 4, I saved 5. These were all saved with 5s. This here, I rounded up to 10, 10, 10, 10. So I hope that makes sense. Like this here, 52, I saved 55 instead. This tracker here, Stackman, was created by Heidi over at Heidi Nash, and her website is debtfreecharts.com. I used her tracker to help me track what I wanted to save extra towards debt, and I was able to save the $943 by the end of March. I had another tracker I wasn't able to find from January. That saved me a little over $400 as well. So that's how I was able to save and pay down a little over $1,000 in debt. This is just a folder to put extra papers, stickers, and notes you want to use in the planner when I got it. Okay, here we have February. It says just begin. Okay, and for February, my goal that I added was my health. I wanted to focus on my physical and mental health because I was just not feeling great. What I'm excited for. It's been a while, but I am excited to see and feel a healthier me, a happier me. I'm excited for a mindful me. Okay, so that was what I felt I would be excited for when I work on my physical and mental health. And what I was afraid of was, so here it asks, I'm scared of. I wouldn't say I'm scared of this, but it's something I've done in the past. I push myself too far to get results instead of giving my body time to rest. And that's how we get hurt, when we don't give our body time to rest, okay? So with that, I broke down my goals mainly to learn how to choose better food choices at home and dining out. I made sure I wrote dining out because I know it's hard to make those changes, and sometimes I don't want to cook. Lose 1 to 2 pounds a month, lessen my time on social media. How will I get this done? So I would do some research for the foods I love to eat and see if there are better options or healthier choices. Try meal prep at home so I don't rely on drive-thrus. Get a digital scale. Block or delete social media apps or set a time limit for usage. Read a physical book. Okay, those are some things I can do in order to help myself physically and mentally. Important dates I have here was on the 30th of January, I got myself a digital scale. The 1st of February, I did a healthier food haul, and I cut out coffee, store-bought coffee between the 1st and 5th of February, and then I continued that again on the 16th and 24th. By doing that, I was able to lose 2.4 pounds 2 weeks into February. Okay, and then for a total loss of 2.6 pounds March 1st. That was pretty awesome. And I did leave myself a note once again. Remember, slow and steady. Stay motivated, and remember, it's not easy to lose weight. There will be setbacks, but don't quit. Don't give up. We can do this. I love you so much. Okay? You guys, you just have to remember to love yourself, because it's really hard to do things for yourself if you don't even love yourself. how did it go? So here is the review for that set of mental and physical health goal I had. Big win is I learned how to pray and give praise, not just ask for whatever it is I want through prayer. I lost at least 2 pounds by lowering my carb intake. I am able to limit my screen time between 1 to 3 hours a day. For achievements, I became more intentional with my time. I am more aware of how the food I eat affects me. I know a good book can take me anywhere, right? One highlight I had was I found out in my women's Bible study there is a section that guides me in how to pray. Lessons I learned that everything seems harder when I don't at least try. So start somewhere and start small. Progress might be slow, but it's better than no progress at all. Moving slow forward is still moving. What worked? Having time to myself to pray worked. Slowly limiting my screen time for digital detox. Portion control for weight loss. What didn't work? Now this is related to weight loss. Cutting down too much too fast. My phone and tablet had to stay in my space, which is here in this room. I had to give myself time to adjust because, like I said, cutting down on food intake too much too fast is not good for my health. The screen time, that was fine. I had no problem with it. But the portion control and working out, I need to listen to my body. Okay, I need to listen to my body and stop when I need to stop versus saying, I can do one more. I can say that, I can push it, but at the end of the day, after I stop, my body will hurt. Improvements to make. Don't cut down food intake too much too fast. It's not healthy. Time is priceless. Manage it better. Give thanks for all my blessings. Listen to my body. Don't push too hard. Okay, so that is our review for what I wanted for my health, physically, mentally, and spiritually. And here is just a screenshot of where I started. I started January 30th. Okay, and then this was actually pretty quick. On the 2nd, I did lose 3.2 pounds. And then February 16th, I gained weight. But overall, I did lose 2.6 pounds, okay? And that was at the beginning of March. Okay, so in March, I added another goal, and that goal was to help our budgeting community with watch hours. So, and I used a different template. I wrote, for my goal, I want to help budgeting friends with watch hours, minimum of 3 friends a month. And the goal started on the 1st, ending on the 31st. And what success looks like is me running their playlist with the most videos, if there is more than one playlist available, and to share one of their challenges on my channel. Okay. And the note I had to myself was, remember to like the video, leave a comment, even if it's an emoji. And I will be helping a friend who already reached 1,000 subscriber, a friend who is above 500 subscriber, and a friend who is below 500 subscriber. And basically, I would be running their playlist to help them with watch hours and sharing their channel to help their channel grow. For the watch hour playlist, I did grab this from Maddie over at Floating Funds, so I made sure to run one of her playlists first. I added back in here the expense tracking. I know, I wrote it already. Why did I write it again? I wasn't very successful in doing that, and I had no record of me doing the tracking process, so I wrote it again. so success would look like me being able to track my expenses for a full week with no break. And so first I need to print an expense tracker. Then I need to keep it where I can see it and access it easily. I need to remember to ask for a receipt, because I remember without a receipt, I just gave up, right? But I also made sure it's like, if I forget the receipt, get onto my bank account and check what I spent, okay? And also I reminded myself to review my budget. Did I stay in budget or did I overspend? Okay. And the note I have for myself here is just get started. It's better than not trying. Not being successful after an attempt is better than failing to try. Love you always. And here is the daily expense spreadsheet or worksheet that I printed. And this is from Sons. I'll link her below. This was free. Okay. Good days are coming. This is for Q2, so I'm going to share this quickly with you, the goals I have. So for Q2 preview, the goal I have is focus on financial stability, and in order to do that, I'm continuing my debt-free journey by saving money, paying off debt to create financial stability. I'm excited for knocking debt off the top of Mount Everest. I just want it gone and out of my life to never be found. Okay, so my goal is to pay down my personal loans and credit card, to continue to build my emergency fund, work on my money mindset. And how I'm going to do that is track my spending, figure out my current net worth, save $250 per week towards debt and emergency fund. So that's $125 for debt and $125 for emergency fund. Don't let negative thoughts and or people delay my progress. Okay. Important dates I have written down here was from last quarter. On the 22nd, I made an extra $1,000 payments towards debt. On the 31st, I saved a total of $1,500 towards my emergency fund. The note I have here is a quote from Nelson Mandela. It always seems impossible until it's done. Okay? It was so easy to charge up the cards to buy all the things. Now looking back, all the things are gone. They were purchased to fill a void, costing me my financial stability. So, let's take back control, get out of debt. And I did start my spending tracker. This spending tracker I got from Printable by Woods on Ko-fi. This was a free download. The next goals I have for this quarter, my goals, as you can tell, are either financial or health. Okay, so my mental health, physical health, and spiritual health, I want clarity. By focusing on my spiritual health, I can improve my mental health. Improving my physical health will also strengthen my mental and spiritual health, thus giving me clarity. I'm excited for a happier and healthier me, a version of me that don't use food as a crutch when I am upset, a version of me that will take time to stop and smell the roses, a happier and healthier me. And so my main goal is to meal prep just 3 days of the week so that I don't get bored, really. What I eat affects my physical and mental health. Start low impact workouts 1 to 2 days a week to help boost happy hormones and release those negative energy and the negative feel in your body. Okay, meditate 5 to 10 minutes before I sit down to pray. By meditating for 5 to 10 minutes, it clears my mind, so I'm not praying for things that aren't really relevant. Okay, So task on how I can do that is look up new recipes, look for low impact workouts, clear my fridge and pantry of my unhealthy snacks. And I make sure to put my unhealthy snacks because I'm on this health journey, not my kids, not my husband. Create a space to meditate, create a space to pray. It is essential to create that space to focus. It is hard to do if you have things that will distract you, okay? The one important date I have on here is from March 30th, which again was last quarter. I lost 2.1 pounds. A total of 2.1 pounds was lost last quarter. Note I have for myself is just because something is hard doesn't mean it's impossible, by Lisa Turkish. Making time to meditate and pray isn't hard. Changing my diet and working out it's a slow process, but it is not impossible to do. Then I could tell myself, I can do this, I can do this, I can do this. You gotta motivate yourself to do those hard things that you might quit on, you know. It's hard to lose weight, it's hard to eat healthy, but you can do it. You just have to put in the work. And this is the review. So I did put in here my March total weight loss. So I was down 2.1 pounds at the end of March, and that is great. I have here a list of things to do that I haven't filled out yet, and none of this is actually relevant right now. And then if you'd watched Mama Bear mentioned a vision board, okay? I don't have a vision board. So it says here, you're not starting over, you're starting stronger. So for any of you in the budgeting community that has to empty your binders, this is for you. I've had to do this. It sucks a lot. It breaks my heart every time I have to touch any of my binders. Even though I had that money there for a purpose, it just feels like I had to start over. But I want to tell you, you're not starting over. You're starting stronger. And here is about mindset. It says you become what you feed your mind. So that's why I did a social media digital detox. Okay, I started reading physical books on how to set goals, how to manage my money, and how to be grateful for what I have. One of the things I wanted to focus on was time management. A lot of these printouts are online. You just have to look for them. Okay, so I found something that helped with time management, and it laid out how to do that. Here is 8 Japanese techniques to overcome challenges and achieve success. These, some I cannot pronounce, so I'll leave it to the experts. But if you're interested, please go ahead and screenshot anything I'm showing you here and add it to your binder. 10 simple steps to stop living paycheck to paycheck. Snowball method, avalanche method. I use this for the physical, mental, and spiritual aspect, but you can use any one of these to help you reset. Donna, this is for you. This is the static versus noise. So if you really want it, they don't matter anymore. It's just you and your dreams. The rest is just noise. Okay. Now, I won't be reading through every single one of this. I just want to share with you what my vision for self-improvement and goals look like. this is just a repeat in a different version. Okay, and that's it. Thank you. Oops, never mind, I think I missed one. There you go. That's it. Okay. Again, thank you so much for being here and for participating in the Financial Goals Hop. Please visit Maria over at Mari's Way of Life. She will be hosting your next Financial Goal Hop. Thank you so much for your time. Bye-bye.